Alright, Shalom. I'd like to say Kal Halayim, Wahawadla, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessing to the acrimony will have pushed this truth to the four corners of the earth. Right, his brother Yaba. He was on a spirit to go through a few precepts entitled the so-called black woman is not strong according to the scriptures. You see how this society has portrayed this strong black woman mindset. Women that, even when you go back to the teachings of the Willie Lynch, women who don't need a man, who could run the household by themselves, and like they could be a man and a woman at the same time, right? These are the kind of things that this society does teach. But when you look at the scriptures, that is actually anti-scriptural. But they don't know that, right? They don't know that. I'll start with a precept. A lot of these so-called strong black women just call themselves Christians. And when you even look at Christianity does actually promote that nonsense. They don't tell women to humble themselves to the husbands, that they know they're supposed to be married and be keepers at home and all these kind of things, or not to even usurp authority against a man and so forth. You understand? These are things that the Christian churches is actually encouraged. And even that's showing you how off these Christians are. I'm going to read a precept. So there's Isaiah 30 verse 1, right? It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me." Because these women who in this mindset, it goes even back to the time of the Willie Lynch, where they used to put the women above the men and take the men from the households and, program the women a certain way, that the women would do the things that they want them to do, and to teach the children the same thing. You understand? That is really where the origin of this strong black woman thing came about. And even if you Google the strong black women mindset, it's mainly targeted towards so-called black women. You don't see these white women on this strong black women nonsense. You understand? It's usually be large congregations of our women. You understand? And all these things go back also to the curses. The scriptures say what? The wife's eye shall be evil towards her husband and her children and so forth. All these things are part of the curses that we had to go through. Right? Say, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." Because they're not covering with the Lord's, they're not taking a covering of the Lord's spirit. They're taking a covering of the spirit of this society, of the things that this society does teach and how this society tell them to be. Majority of these Christians, especially women, if you ask them, they will always talk about the Bible, they'll always talk about the Lord, they'll always talk about being covered by the blood. But when they make decisions in life and how they go about living life, it has nothing to do with the scriptures. Absolutely nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with the scriptures. And then when they're making decisions, the first thing they will turn to is Oprah. Or they will turn to some kind of counselor of this world who does teach the philosophies and the right and wrong based on what? On this society. You understand? They will always look to everything else to turn to. They will even turn to psychology sometimes. They will turn to everything else besides what the Lord said to do. You understand? Because what? They cover with a covering of this society, of this system. They will always look for some kind of guidance outside of the Lord. Right? That they may what? Add sin to sin. Because that's what they'll be doing. They'll be transgressing, and then they'll look for counsel outside of the Lord to just make things worse. Right? I'll go to our precept. It said this is Ecclesiasticus 25. The scriptures show you how a woman's supposed to be. And that is how a strong so-called black woman is really supposed to be. You understand? Not these ones who think that they're equal to men and they could just live without a man. And if a man do have to be with them, he had to accept that that is how she is. And none of those things are scriptural. None of those things are of the Lord. And it can't be contrary to the Lord and think that you're of the Lord. That is just retarded. Right? Ecclesiasticus 25 verse 1 is say, in 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before the Most High and men. It said the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, right? A man and a wife that agree together. You understand? He said one of the 3 things was what? A man and a wife that agree together. And that agree together don't mean that, like today it go your way and next 2 days it go she way. And no, it's true, both of you will have to work together in a marriage, but he is the one that is over you according to the Lord. It's not like you don't like this so you're not going to do that. No. Scriptures say what? They say, Genesis 3 verse 16, it say, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So he is the boss in the situation. But according to the teachings of a strong black woman, the strong black woman, she own boss. Nobody can tell she what to do. You understand? And that's showing you how the teachings that they push in this society is contrary to the scriptures. Because a wife's supposed to be what? Submissive. She's supposed to listen to she husband. A strong black woman don't listen to nobody but Esau. Because when you really look at it carefully, these strong black women who does act like if they're so empowered and nobody can tell them what to do. When the white man talk to them, they just listen. Being a strong black woman or strong black woman only mean that they don't have to listen to us, their men, but they just listen to Esau. You understand? When white people talk, they just listen. That is really what a strong black woman is, according to society. But according to the scriptures, that is a foolish woman. It said in Ecclesiasticus 25 verse 19, right? It say, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So women who actually being wicked towards the husbands and living wickedly, don't feel that you wouldn't have an answer for that at some point in time. The Lord don't deal with rebellion. The Lord don't like rebellious men, and he don't like rebellious women either. You understand? These things just have repercussions. Verse 20 is say, as the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. Now the reason why I read this scripture is why, because one of the definitions of a strong black woman is a woman who very outspoken. You understand? When you watch them kind of movies and you see the black woman attitude, as they just call it, you understand? Strong black women in this society just tend to be very outspoken. And you have to understand that is how they just express their strength. You understand? But according to the scriptures, that is not a good thing. Scriptures say a silent and loving woman is what is good. Not a woman that is every minute. You understand? And it even gave a parable here to explain how annoying it is. The scriptures is really a guide on how you're supposed to be and the things you're supposed to do. But like I say, these strong black women, they just cover of the covering of this society. They don't care what the Lord say that they're supposed to and not supposed to do. The only time they just care about that is when calamity come upon them. That is when they just want to seek to the Lord of how to be and all these different things. But other than that, they turn towards their own likes, their own preferences, and so forth. Right? Ecclesiasticus 26 verse 14, it says, a silent and loving woman is a gift from the Lord, a gift of the Lord. Not a strong, loud black woman who have an uncontrollable mouth, like she tongue have a separate brain of its own. You understand? A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed, meaning a woman that could listen, not one who feel that she don't have to do what nobody say. A mind well instructed, one that is listen to what you tell them to do. All these different instructions right here in front of everybody's face. But these majority of these women, they wouldn't want to hear this. Why? Because it doesn't suit their desires. They want to be how they want to be. I even saw it had they even made a Netflix. They made a Netflix series. I don't remember the name of the series, but it was showing it was a series about this woman who used to live in the Middle East. And you know, in the Middle East, women just have to be submissive and they can't be disrespectful, and they have a lot of limitations to them. So she wanted to leave the Middle East to come to America and live free, without anybody ruling over her, anybody telling her what to do. You understand? That is what these women want. That is what our women want. They don't want to be under their husbands. They don't want to be, doing the things that the Lord say. They just want to live and do what they want. They just want to be strong black women. Say what they want, how they want, and if you don't like it, well, somebody will like me. And these things are against the scriptures. Right? It says, a silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. It says, a shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. And I have a good reason why it said that, because even Solomon himself said, he said out of 1,000 men he only found one good man, but out of 1,000 women he found not one. That just show you how hard it is to actually find a woman that fit characteristics like that. And I will tell you, it have a lot of women that is being the truth, who they say they are in the truth, who really not like that. They might tell themselves they're like that. They might act like that around others, but really and truly they are not like that. And this is something my eyes have seen on many occasions. They might be telling themselves that they are like that, but when things start to happen, you could see the inner nigger woman coming out. You understand? Majority of them are not like that. It does have one or two, yes, but majority of them, they are not like that. Yeah, they are actually not. But the scriptures give women examples on how they're supposed to be. Right? It said the 1 Peter 3 verse 1, right? It said, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Right? The scripture even say our next precept, they say he rather that the young women marry and bear children and so forth. Society has teach you what? You don't need a man. You could live, enjoy your life. When you do get married, your husband's supposed to do everything that pleasing to you. And if he don't, you just get a divorce and you go and get a next husband. You understand? That is the kind of things that this society has promote. But what did the Lord say? He said, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. And some of them doesn't understand that one simple word. What does subjection mean? Now you have a lot of them. Some of them go be like, but I don't have to listen to he for this reason, and I don't have to listen to he for that reason. And you have to understand that when spirits start to talk to you and start to interfere with your mind, right, and start to convince you of doing and not doing certain things, you have to be very mindful. You have to be very mindful of the things. So like, I'm gonna pause this. Yeah, so like, I put on the Wi-Fi, so I had to take off the notification for WhatsApp. It's annoying. Yeah. They don't understand that when them spirits start to talk in your mind, a lot of times begin to try to do things that contrary to how it's supposed to be. And they doesn't be able to pick up on these subtle things. They will always find a good reason in their mind why they shouldn't listen to something that they were told to do. Either he talked to me too rough, or he doesn't tell me nice things enough, or they always have some good reason why it is that they should not have to listen to something, or they shouldn't have to do something. And in their mind it doesn't make sense. Alright, so when you go to work, your boss says talk to you rough. That means he doesn't do what he tell it to do. You wouldn't make that excuse for your boss, but for your husband you have a good excuse why you shouldn't listen to him. The Lord tell you have to listen to your boss? No. The Lord tell you have to listen to your husband? Yes. But in your mind, you have a good reason why you don't need to listen to your husband. Because he talk to you too rough, or... But a lot of women, they don't have a discernment to be able to know when spirit's trying to get them to go off or doing things they're not supposed to be doing and so forth. They don't have that discernment. So they just hear it and just go with it. It's a be in subjection, right?
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso. Hupatasso.
It say to arrange under, to subordinate, to subject, to put in subjection, to subject oneself, obey. Right? That way the scriptures say that's how a strong black woman is supposed to be, right? Obedient to she husband. That is law. It's not like something you feel you should and shouldn't do. These things are law. You understand? These things are law. That way it's had to be mindful when it comes to things like this. It said to submit to one's control, to yield to one's admonition or advice, to obey, to subject. You understand? So there's not something to be lightly towards. Right? It said likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives. Okay, you see sometimes when wives come together, what has happened? Sometimes you might have 3 wives talking. One out of the 3 might be a bad seed. You understand? And she start talking to your wife and the bad seed start to pass across. You understand? If she not really grounded in what she believe and she not sincere as she's supposed to be, she could end up getting caught up. You might find because she lying with this wife now, she started to pick up this bad habits and she started getting more attitude. You understand? All these things just tend to happen. Scripture say what? A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Sometimes it could take one bad wife out of 10 to turn all 10 bad. Why? Because the others, the naive. Right? It say while they behold the chaste conversations coupled with fear. And even though you might be a wife and you seeing, well, these women talking all this wickedness, you're supposed to know within yourself, they will have their lot to receive. If they want to be like that, they will have their penalty to receive. But their reward is not your reward. They know how to make it to the end. So don't watch them and find like you should want to be more like them because they getting away with it now. That doesn't mean that overall they will get away with it. At some point they would have to answer if they're rebellious and wicked and doing all these things. There is scriptures say what to work out your own salvation. It say whose adorning, let it not be of the outward adorning of plaiting the hair, or of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel. Okay, see a lot of women that's dress up, and the reason why they dress up is for what? Is because they want to please multiple men. Especially and some of them, a lot of us be what? When they have a husband. That is be their mindset to go out and look nice for other men. Because they like the attention or whatever the case may be. But as light-minded as you might look at it in your mind, that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not something wrong. If if you have a husband and the purpose you're doing it is to go and please other men, you would be wrong. You might look at it as something innocent, but that doesn't mean that it is. Right? Nobody say that you wouldn't want to look presentable. But if the reason why you're dressing up is for the purpose of attracting multiple men, then you're off. You're meditating on the wrong things. Right? They say, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornaments of a meek and quiet spirit, which a lot of women doesn't have. They're always quick to answer you. They're always quick to give some kind of attitude. You understand? Some of them, there's a whole lot of anger within the self, and just want to like get revenge. A lot of women, they don't have a weak and humble mindset. Right? Of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High a great price. Even the apostles they say a lot of women in the time of the end going and be destroyed. A lot of women. Right? It say, for after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also, who trusted in the Most High, adorned themselves. So this is how they used to be. It even have a scripture in I think it's in Judith, when it says she used to when she used to dress up and look nice for she husband. Not for the purpose of leaving she husband to go and look for other men. She used to dress up nice for she husband. Right? It say, for after this manner in the old times, the holy women also, who trusted in the Most High, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Right? Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Because Lord simply means what? Like the head. That's why you'll call your land. That's why the person who you're renting from, you call them your landlord, because they is the head of the estate you're living on. That is what the word Lord refers to. In this day and age, you'll hardly see a woman calling she husband Lord and actually being at peace within herself about it. Because she could be, most of the time, to be either studying somebody here and she's saying that and watching she cross-eye, and she'll be feeling that kind of way around people. And it's very rare you'll see a woman actually calling she husband Lord, especially in front of others, and being at peace within herself about it. But this is how the women originally used to be. Right? It said, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well. As long as ye do well, meaning what? Not as long as you're being a strong black woman and you don't need a man and you're empowered. And no. Even if you might have more wealth than your husband, even though you might be real good looking, none of these things doesn't change who you are and how you're supposed to be. That doesn't exempt you from the law of obeying your husband. You understand? Being rich don't make you exempted from the law. Being good looking don't make you exempted from the law. Being smart doesn't make you exempted from the law. You're still supposed to be a certain way. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have. Right? If as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. And that's the mindset you're supposed to have. That is the mindset a real strong black woman supposed to have. It said, likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife. Now it said, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor according to the wife. If that women would read that scripture and they would say, well, you're supposed to honor your wife. But they nothing like all the verses we read before that one precept. Before that one precept, all these verses coming on here, they have nothing in common with all those 6 verses, but they will jump to verse 7 and tell you you're supposed to honor your wife. You understand? And that doesn't make any sense. Right? That doesn't make any sense. It say, give honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. No, you're supposed to dwell with them according to knowledge. You're supposed to be a certain way with them. Understand that people in the flesh, sometimes you'll stumble, everything won't always go as you expect and so forth. But that don't mean you'll see she being wicked and just be cool about it. All these things are with discretion. Right? And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayer be not hindered. Right? Well, I feel I'll stop there. You know, this is a small example of showing you how the scriptures say a strong black woman is supposed to be. Supposed to be a woman of the Lord. You're supposed to be strong in the Lord. The scriptures told you that. It's not about doing your own thing or feeling you don't need anybody. You understand? It's not about that. It's about being how the Lord told it to be. And about listening to your husband. Because that is what the Lord actually put you here for. The scriptures say what? The man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman was created for the man. You understand? The Lord didn't create you so you could be by yourself and raise children by yourself. No, we know we're under the curses, whereas our women, sometimes they'll be fatherless a lot of the times because of the curses that we're under. You know, our people, let's have the highest account for things like childless, like fatherless households and so forth. All these are the curses that we face. But it's not for you to deliberately go with this strong woman, black woman mindset and want to be rebellious and you don't need a man and all that nonsense. These things are not of the scriptures. And women who take part in things like that, they will have to answer fate. Anyway, all was edifying. With that, I say shalom.